All right, welcome back to another one of our film reviews. Today we are talking Chargers first round pick Joe Alt going over his big time debut against the Las Vegas Raiders. I tell you what, folks, Alt looks totally worth the first round pick. He had a nice start to his NFL career, and we've got a great set of cut ups here to highlight everything he brought for the Chargers and will continue to bring for them going forward. As always, if you appreciate this content, give us a like, give us any comments with any feedback you might have. But without further ado, let's jump right into the film. All right, we're going to open up with a passing situation, and there's Joe Alt, of course, right there at right tackle for the Los Angeles Chargers. It's going to be a long yardage-ish situation. I think it's about 8 yards down in distance here. You can see the Raiders have Christian Wilkins, the all-pro guard right there, lined up in a 3 technique. They have Max Crosby, the all-pro defensive end, lined up way out here. You can call that a 7 or maybe a wide 9 technique outside that tight end. And basically right here, we're going to get one-on-one up front for the Los Angeles Chargers. The center's going to take this gap over right here. The guard's going to take this gap. So it's going to kind of have a chance at a double team inside and then one-on-one right here, all across on the backside. Alt right here, he's technically responsible for this gap, but that basically means he's one-on-one Max Crosby. He's got to handle an all-pro pass rusher to give Justin Herbert time. He does a really nice job. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see the center taking the gap and looking at that gap to his right. You can see the guard right there, the right guard for the Chargers. He takes one step to his right, but keeps his hand inside hand on Christian Wilkins. And we can see man-on-man, left guard and left tackle there on the backside. All right, let's look at Joe Alt here. One-on-one, Max Crosby, really good player. Alt, nice patience, great strength right there. Look at that position. Now look, Alt is a massive dude. He is a long dude, but he plays with a really good base, really strong arms, really great grip. Look at that length. Max Crosby is known for having incredibly long, strong hands. Watch what happens when Crosby gets him an Alt. Alt just locks him down like it's nothing. This is incredible, folks, because remember who that is. That's Max Crosby. He's one of the top 2 or 3 pass rushers in the entire NFL. And Joe Alt against him makes him look like a 5th-round pick. This is incredible stuff. Alt had a really just impressive all-around debut, but what he did to Max Crosby in his very first game is absolutely ridiculous. Joe Alt's future is very bright for the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, Nick, and we look what Alt brings to the table. Really, just we've seen him do well all preseason, and you wonder can it carry over and against, like you said, really great players, guys like Max Crosby, a 76.6 pass blocking grade in your first real big time, divisional rival game. I think that's absolutely phenomenal for the Chargers and makes you feel like you got the right guy and Joe Alt.
All right, switching up to the running game, and there's Joe Alt right there at right tackle. Of course, this is going to be a really cool design by the Los Angeles Chargers. So they're going to have the play side, the center, right guard, and right tackle take, and the tight end as well, take zone tracks to the offensive right. So the way it's going to work right here is you're going to get a reach block right here. You're going to get kind of a zone double team right here, working up to number 5. You're going to get the tight end working up to the end man on the line of scrimmage, trying to base him and reach him there as well. On the backside, normally what you get in this situation is a scoop and cutoff technique. But what the Chargers do, they actually have the backside tackle and the backside guard block out. So basically you get zone blocks this way, get everybody moving, and then have the fullback insert and lead just like that. And it's a natural design cutback there for the running back. Really clever play design. But folks, I want you guys to watch Joe Alt in this situation. It's technically a zone double team between him and the right guard, but the right guard leaves early. It leaves Joe Alt one-on-one against the all-pro Christian Wilkins, and he bullies him across the football field. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see the center, right guard, right tackle, tight end taking zone blocking tracks right there to the offense's right. You can see it right there, the left guard and left tackle, they work out. And the fullback inserts for the middle linebacker just like that. You can see it's a design cutback. Now, unfortunately, the left guard totally misses his block and it blows up what really would have been a nice play. I mean, imagine if they just do a halfway decent job right here. There is nobody in the middle of this field. This is a huge run. Really big missed opportunity there. But again, folks, let's watch Joe Alt here. Again, you see zone double team tracks. They get on Christian Wilkins. The right guard then comes off right there. Now watch here. Joe Alt's basically one-on-one at this point all the way through. Watch him bully Wilkins across the football field, drive him upfield. This is awesome stuff. This would have been awesome if this was like just a backup player for the Raiders. This has been a really nice rep, strong, powerful, all that good stuff, driving your feet. But the fact this is Christian Wilkins, an all-pro superstar defensive lineman, and Joe Alt is a rookie, is doing this to him in his debut, then is incredible stuff. Everyone was really talking really impressively, and so were we, of course, on the previous play about his performance against Max Crosby, but he had a really nice day when he blocked Christian Wilkins as well. Let's take a look at it from the wide copy. Here you can see Joe Alt get into Wilkins at the line of scrimmage with his own double team right there. So right here you can see the guard come off right there. You can see the right guard come off the linebacker. Look where Christian Wilkins is right here, right about maybe the 39.5-yard line, right about there. Watch how far Alt then drives him back. all the way to what, the 35. By himself, he drives Wilkins back another 4.5 yards. This is really a double team. This is really a one-on-one base block, and Joe Alt absolutely dominates here. All right, going back to a pass play, there is Alt right there at right tackle, of course. You can see the Raiders in this situation. They've got a lot of people walked up. They've got 6 guys on the line of scrimmage right here, and you can see how this structurally is going to work out. So you're going to have one-on-one blocks here, one-on-one blocks here, one-on-one block here, one-on-one block here, one-on-one block here, and the running back's going to insert here if needed. You can just see how that's going to look out. In fact, you can see the running back. He's basically eyeing that hole right there. What's going to end up happening is 41 is going to come, number 5 is going to come, 94 is going to drop out right here, and that's going to leave basically one-on-one matchups right here, Joe Alt on Max Crosby. The whole point of this defensively for the Las Vegas Raiders is to get all of these guys right here focused on these walked up linebackers so that when we leave this one-on-one matchup, the Raiders call this because they think Max Crosby will embarrass the rookie. Guess what? They're wrong. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see 5 and 41 come. You can see 94 then drop into coverage. You can see Max Crosby. He knows he's one-on-one. He tries to go an inside move right off the rip right there. And then Joe Alt just buries him into the trash like he's nothing. Herbert escapes, is able to get rid of the football. This is a little play, right? Didn't stand out. An offensive line play rarely does. It's not a highlight film. You won't hear people talk about it on SportsCenter or whatever. But I tell you what, this is so good. Max Crosby is such a great player. His inside move is ridiculous. Very few people can handle this kind of move here from Crosby. He does it so easily, Alt does. That's what's so impressive about him. He's so big, long, and strong, but he moves, I hate to say the word gracefully for an offensive lineman, but that's what he is, right? It's like it's so easy for him to get down in a stance. You can see right here, he's in a good position there. Max Crosby goes inside and he just takes his outside arm and just washes him inside. You see how he gets his hand right there on his hip, on his rib cage? That's what they teach you. Drive him down inside, squares him up right there, stays on him. And even right here, he's still staying on him right in front of him. All across the board, Joe Alt has done a phenomenal job in pass protection. And considering the competition, I think his future is incredibly bright for the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, and we talk about the competition. We talk about elite players. We talk about Crosby. We talk about Wilkins. And if you look at our other video, we kind of talked about this a little bit. Alt went up against these guys that combined 18 times, 11 times versus Crosby, 9 versus Wilkins, and he blanked them every single snap. Every time he went up against them, 0 pressures by 2 of the best pass rushers on this team. Like I said, I think this is really great news for Alt and the Chargers fans as well.
All right, going with the little play action now. There's Alt right there, of course, at right tackle for the Chargers. So this is going to be a play action game here. Running backs faking this way. We're going to bring the tight end across the formation here at the snap to take this gap. We're going to get man-on-man right there. We're going to get everyone on the offensive line then taking the gap to their left just like this. That way it looks a lot like inside run, ends up being a play action, of course. And again, I want you guys to watch Joe Alt in this situation. He's taking his gap right here. Christian Wilkins, number 94, he's lined up in a 4-eye technique. He's a 4-eye because he's on the inside eye of a tackle. If he was head up, some people call that a 4. Obviously, if he was on the outside shoulder, we would call that a 5 technique. But in this situation, he's a 4-eye. He's in this gap that Alt's responsible with. But here's the thing. The Raiders actually call a really good play to blow this up. They slant the defensive line this way at the snap. So it makes it a really hard block for guys like Alt to cover all this ground, to basically make sure Christian Wilkins doesn't get penetration and sack the quarterback. Alt does a nice job. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see the play action. You can see the tight end. Let me go forward a little bit more. You can see the tight end coming around to pass protect right there. He should have eyes on 39 right there. He doesn't, so 39 gets to hit Justin Herbert. That's not great. But across the board offensive line, you can see all of them taking the gap to their left just like that. And you can see the Raiders defensive line, 99, 95, 94. They all slant to the right side of your screen, the defensive right, the offensive left. And that means Joe Alt right here, you're on your own. This tackle, 94, he's a fast player, and he's got a straight kill shot on Justin Herbert right there. They called the right play. They got their star interior defensive lineman slanting in the perfect position. This should be a sack, fumble. This should be a kill shot. But watch Joe Alt handle this. He sprints down inside, keeps running his feet, and ends up putting Wilkins into the ground. This is one thing about Joe Alt. This was probably the only question mark I had. Would he have the motor? Would he have the foot speed to stay with these elite pass rushers and interior defensive linemen? We know he's big and strong. We know he's great technically. We know he's a smart guy. But does he have the drive, the motor to just keep running his feet, even when it's not a perfect play? And I tell you what, folks, he does. This is awesome because right here, when you're watching film like this, you're like, yeah, this is going to be a sack. This is a bad play. But Alt keeps working. Alt keeps driving, puts Wilkins in the dirt, completion, first down. Nice rep. Let's take a look at it from the wide copy. You can see right here, looks like Christian Wilkins has everything he wants. He's got penetration. He's got a straight shot. for a kill attack right on Justin Herbert. But you can see Joe Alt show off his athleticism, his foot speed, working, drives him, ends up putting him into the ground. That's the other thing I really like too, just finishing blocks. Joe Alt showing it here, getting a little defender on the ground, a dog action, as we used to call it in my college playing days. I love the athleticism. I love the foot drive. I tell you what, when Christian Wilkins gets opportunities like these, and look, 94, he's a great player. He doesn't miss very much. It takes another player like Joe Alt of equal caliber to stop him. And this is exactly why everyone should be so high on Joe Alt. He's already playing at a high level. All right, going back to some regular pass pro, there's Joe Alt right there at right tackle for the Los Angeles Chargers. And here the Raiders are getting a little tricky with it. Basically, you can see 41's walked up. You can see 39 right there on that left side of your screen. He's walking up to the line of scrimmage as well. Basically, how it's going to work is 41's going to switch, 39's responsibility, drop in his zone coverage. 39's going to come inside. 94, Wilkins is going to come across this way, right? A lot of confusion stuff. Basically, the whole point, once again, is to get Joe Alt and Max Crosby, your superstar all-pro edge rusher, on the rookie, right? All of this window dressing, right? All these linebackers walking up and bouncing out, and the DB slanting inside, Wilkins slanting inside. The whole purpose there is to basically distract all of these guys and make sure you allow this one-on-one matchup right here, because the Raiders think, or the Raiders thought, I should say, that Joe Alt would lose. They were wrong. Once again, let's check it out. All right, you can see 41 back up. You can see 39 come on a blitz. 94 comes across the formation. Again, interior offensive line does a nice job. They pick it up, but it leaves Max Crosby one-on-one on Joe Alt. Let's see how Alt handles this. Nice kick set. Patient, patient, patient. Works him upfield. Nicely done. Perfect. Absolutely perfect against an elite pass rusher. The patience is so key. Right here, he turns his shoulders maybe a beat too early, but otherwise his technique is solid. Keeps a good knee bend the entire time. Good base the entire time. Doesn't wrap. Just keeps working his hands really nice. Then drives him up the field. Doesn't hold. That's the other thing I really like about Joe Alt. He almost never holds. He's all about punching and replacing his hands. Means you're going to get fewer penalties. Really nice job here from the rookie.
And can you bring up penalties? Joe Alt, no penalties this game. Really only one penalty in the preseason, but that's the preseason. The guy plays really clean football, does a really good job in that aspect. And I think, like you said, that's something really to like if you're a Chargers fan.
All right, going back to the running game, there's Joe Alt right there, of course, at right tackle. And here the Chargers are going to run just a standard zone blocking scheme here to the offensive left. So we're going to get basically everyone taking their zone tracks here, cutoff blocks here. This is a little unique on the backside. You see this defensive tackle lined up in a 2-eye technique. Normally what happens is this guard right here is responsible for cutting him off, and then the tackle works up to the next level. The Chargers do it a little interesting here. They actually have the guard try and work through to the next level and have Joe Alt try and cut him off. I mean, this is a ridiculous amount of space. Remember, the run is coming this direction, right? So this defensive tackle is basically, 5, 6, 7 feet already closer to where the run's supposed to go. And the Chargers are like, hey, man, Joe Alt, we trust you to get it done. This is an impressive rep. Now, these guys over here on the play side, they screw it up, so the play goes nowhere. But, folks, Joe Alt does an incredible job. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see the zone tracks across the board. You can see the Chargers look like they're a little late off the ball or a little confused. 81 looks late, so kind of a weird play. You can see defensive tackle jumping inside right there, defensive end jumping inside. Really kind of blows up the play. No chance here, kind of a dead play. But again, I want you guys to watch Joe Alt, how much ground he covers here to cut off this 2-eye technique, working laterally to scoop him and reach him, and he gets it done right there. Folks, I want to make this very clear. I have never seen this before. I have never seen a backside tackle in a zone scheme cut off a 2-eye technique. It just doesn't happen. Like schematically, offenses don't draw it up just because it's an impossible block. But Alt does the impossible here. And I know on the play side, they really screwed it up. But if he can do this regularly, this will destroy defenses because a lot of defensive structures predicated on having this 2-eye technique stop inside run zone schemes. If Joe Alt can get him cut off regularly, again, like he does here, works laterally, gets north and south, and then reaches him right here. If he can do that regularly, there's not a defense in the National Football League that will be able to stop the Chargers running game. I tell you what, this is a play that obviously didn't make the highlight film, but this may have been his best play of the day. All right, going back to some pass protection, there is Joe Alt right there at right tackle. Here, the Chargers are running kind of his gap scheme to the right, so the center is going to take the gap to his right. The right guard is going to take the gap to his right. The right tackle is going to take the gap to his right. Basically, how this works is this tackle is going to take a step this way, see if anyone comes off the edge. If not, then he redirects to pick up this defensive tackle. Line up in, some people may call that a 4-eye, some people may call that a 5. It all depends on the structure. I'd probably call that a 5 technique. And here on the backside, we're just going to get one-on-one right here between the left guard and that defensive tackle, and one-on-one between the left tackle and Max Crosby, of course. Again, this time, Alt 101 pass pro against Wilkins. We saw how he did against Max Crosby. Let's see how he handles this other all pro. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see the right side of the offensive line in the center, taking the gap to the right. We get man on man there on the backside. Let's check out Joe Alt here. You see right here at the snap, he looks outside briefly to see if anyone comes. Nobody does, so his eyes go to Christian Wilkins, gets his hands inside, locks him down, and completely and totally and utterly negates him. Wilkins is a good player, right? Like we saw against Max Crosby. Crosby's a great player. Wilkins is a really, really good player. But when they're against Alt, they look like nobodies, right? They turn really great disruptive forces. Christian Wilkins gets paid tens of millions of dollars to disrupt offenses. And Alt goes against him and shuts him down like he's nothing in this play. This is really, really incredible, impressive stuff. And again, Alt was not perfect. Of course, nobody is, certainly any rookie. But when you watch how he performs against top flight competition, you can't help but be impressed.
Yeah, Nick, when we talk about Alt, you mentioned Alt not perfect. And I think the only criticism we can really have of Alt is fantastic pass blocker. He did decent. He had some really impressive plays in the run game, but I think he could improve a little bit as a run blocker. He had a 47 overall run blocking grade for this game. Throughout the preseason, he averaged in the high 70s. I think if we get him back into those high 70s, that is really what the Chargers are going to want to see from him. And this game, a little bit different. There wasn't a whole lot of great runs outside of J.K. Dobbins' two big runs, but I think Alt getting back into that superior run blocking form is going to bode very well for the Chargers.
All right, we're going to end on a clutch, big-time play late, passing play, 3rd and long. The Chargers right here looking to convert a 3rd down to get their first touchdown of the game. You can see Joe Alt matched up one-on-one on Max Crosby. Again, Crosby, he's getting the one-on-one matchup. You can see the Raiders, they got all these people at the line of scrimmage. All of the offensive linemen are occupied in basically one-on-one matchups. No help for anybody, and especially Joe Alt, one-on-one against Max Crosby. 3rd and long, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10. Justin Herbert's got to hang in there and deliver a ball. He needs time. Can your rookie deliver a clutch play? Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see the Raiders coming there. You can see 94 dropping into coverage, which means 98, Max Crosby, he got his one-on-one matchup yet again on Joe Alt. Joe Alt right there. Good kick slide, good kick slide. Again, his patience is awesome. Patient. Pushes him up the field. 1st down. End up scoring the dagger touchdown. Great work by Joe Alt. This is awesome. The patience is incredible. He forces Max Crosby to run the long way. You see his relationship right there. You see how Joe Alt's head, let me back up just a smidgen. You see how Joe Alt never gets his head so far up the field, so Max Crosby has an inside path. He maintains a consistent, steady relationship, keeps a good depth the entire time. He shoots his hands. Even when he misses his hands maybe initially, he quickly resets, shoves Crosby upfield. Herbert can step up and deliver a strike. Awesome play by Joe Alt. Big time clutch play by the rookie right tackle. The Chargers coming off a nice victory of the Raiders. Joe Alt, big reason why. Again, from the wide copy right here at the top of your screen, perfectly times a punch, drives the edge rusher upfield. Again, this is elite tackle play, right? This is Pro Bowl, all pro stuff against a really nice player. Look at Justin Herbert. He didn't even have to step up. This is cool, calm, collected. Herbert, how many times have we seen Justin Herbert in his career just be able to sit in the pocket like it's nothing and deliver a 15-yard dart frozen rope to the sideline? Not a lot. This is what Joe Alt will bring for this Chargers offense, and his week 1 performance is only the beginning for this exciting rookie.